doesn't know a lot about.
I didn't stick around for the actual gameplay demo, so this is going to be super sick.
It somehow recharged an artifacts that put it inside it, and that if it got successful, it's gonna bring a lot of let's say money.
Yeah.
Maybe something else. So
the visual effects on the the lightning looks sick.
The
electrical
of the character,
take
why
scanner.
he's doing it, and he's learning the story about your character also by doing this quest line.
Because this is actually the bit that they've got on the show floor here, isn't it? At the start of the game. Because I had so much fun. I get what you mean as well. But
the environment detail, like on the foliage and shit like that, is incredible.
And when you're just trying to discover what exactly it does, and the storyline sets that up. But what about the combat in the game as well? Because we can kind of see our first fight here.
Yeah. So it's a group of bandits. They were resting just nearby in their camp and doing their cheeky-breaky stuff. And then they saw that
doing their cheeky-breaky stuff. Yeah, this is a Stalker game, no doubt.
Something happened. A wall was destroyed with a huge noise. They just turned up, going to see what's happening, and found you, a player.
Reload animation look good.
It's amazing as well, because I found myself when I was playing this, I was like the flashlight turning on and off, and like you can also like lean around corners, can't you, to kind of like engage fights from like a bit of cover.
Ooh, that explosion looked good.
It's very important in this game to have a proper tactics. You should hide a lot. You should use your medkits. You should survive grenades, because AI is very pushing and challenging. Yeah. They trying to.
I wish they would have turned up the actual like demo video volume, because I want to hear the audio as well, but all we're getting is a fucking Gamescom audio.
Outcome you to go from other side, and it's pretty stressful. So it's a first fight. It's very simple fight against 3 bandits, but
so this is early on in the game. Then
it's often lead you to several deaths.
It's very unforgiving as well. And we just see as well, I found that it's like a big part of the game is like looting. So what kind of things should people be looking out for when they're looting?
Yeah, so the part of the game, so while we are fighting, we are losing our resources, consumables, food, ammo, and after the fight finished...
Okay. Like, dude, I'm a sucker for good, like, interactive animations. So, like, with food, water, Gray Zone Warfare does it really well. That was sick. That was really, really cool.
Have to get through the dead bodies' pockets to find some ammunition, maybe loot their camp to restore what we just spent. Because without it, we just run out of ammo, and the player would be, like, stuck.
Because that's the big thing I have. I am very trigger happy when it comes to first-person shooters. Like, I fire way more bullets than I should. And then I found myself as well. I was like, I need to go check every building that I can because I need more ammo. Like, what kind of advice would you say for players hopping into Stalker 2 to spend their time in the world?
So the reason why you should discover and look for...
All right, this is the dumbest fucking question. Like, let's keep it moving. I want to know more about the game.
Because, it's interesting to discover this abandoned place where was some living some time ago.
I like that sweater.
There is some story behind it, and when you're just walking around and looking for the corners, and it's beautiful there. You can.
I'm excited for this one, man.
Find something stashed there. Because it's a Stalker stashes. They use some stashes for their next journeys, because they can bring like hundreds of thousands of kilograms. They have to make some stashes for there, and players sometimes find them, and it's often rewardable, and often it's very rewardable, because you can get a huge equipment boost by just going to
the weather effects, like even the skybox they're using is insane.
Find anything there, but it could be there.
That's what I found. I found myself like an assault rifle when I just had a pistol to start with. I was like exploring buildings and found that. But the game also, it looks amazing.
It does. Honestly, like, I know the last video I did on Stalker, we talked about the downgrades to the visuals. It still looks really good, and it looks like it looks like it's running better. I heard at Summer Games Fest, I believe it was Summer Games Fest, the game was running not too great and that there were a lot of bugs. I was watching a lot of podcasts at the time, and a lot of people were saying like, you know, it's kind of not ready to go. And then obviously they delayed it, and now we're here. I wonder, are we playing? We must be playing this on a PC.
Yeah, this is the start of a next fight. The player, we have some stealth mechanics.
Lean looks clean.
It's not very as you used to have a stealth in the game.
Okay.
It doesn't offer you like ability to be invisible for enemies.
Okay.
No, they will see you and shoot you, but
Okay.
at least it allows you to get slightly closer, to find better position to start the fight, and or maybe to initiate the fight with a grenade.
Okay.
So it would be easier for you, and then the
You know,
fight is
there's some
pretty-
there's some aspects of the game, like now I've only played a little bit, I believe, of Stalker Anomaly. There's a lot of parts of the game that actually look a little bit faster in terms of like the fluidity, like swapping, doing the injection, reloading, even the leaning, swapping to grenades, like everything just kind of, it looks a lot smoother, which is nice.
challenging.
Yeah.
And you have to watch your hit points and your state, because you could be bleeding, and you have to use a bandage to stop this bleeding.
So I'm noticing a lot of HUD elements. Obviously, like my side of the Stalker community is going to be going for like more an immersive setting. I'm hoping we can customize and tune the HUD to do, you know, basically just get rid of all of this stuff. But
It's not. It's gonna last for long, and you're gonna lose a lot of hit points if you not stop.
that animation looks so
Yeah, because
good.
you have multiple ways of healing, don't you? You've
Yeah.
got like the bandages to stop the bleeding, but there's like different types
Yeah.
of med kits that you can find
Yeah,
as well.
you can have a regular med kits, medical med kits, and an army med kit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
And
That's a
they
lot of med
provide
kits.
additional boosts, but mostly it's restoring the hit points. But also, if you are not in the fight and you just need to recover a small portion of health, you can just eat, and it will also bring you a small portion of hit points.
See, that's what I loved as well. I found like there's so much resource management that you have to like pay attention to, which really gives you a different challenge. So it's like
I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been, ever since we started working on our own game, I always look at environments and see how they're lighting certain things. The single light in the watchtower against like the black fucking like skybox of the darkness is so
like
sick.
you said, if you don't eat,
It's something
you're
weird
going
to really
perform worse
respect,
in
but I
gunfights.
love
Yeah,
the
so
ambience of the
you
world
have to
here.
watch about your state, just like you're watching about yourself. So
Can
we
you
try to
climb that
bring this,
ladder? Like I see they're not going
simulation
up,
or
but like,
atmosphere
are we
that
able
you'll
to?
be in
We
the
got to be able to
real
climb it,
human
right?
That goes to Chernobyl exclusion
Yeah.
area with your backpack with some food, and
Oh, that was cool.
you just have to do the same things to survive in the game as in life, because you have to eat, you have to
Okay,
sleep,
now we're here.
you have to like you fall, you broke your leg, you have to use some med kits to survive this, and
I'm gonna pause it. Like the game looks really, really good, but obviously we're getting, you know, streamed footage captured at an event. I can't wait to see what it looks like on my fucking screen.
that's
I'll
what
say
we are
that.
doing here.
Yeah, no,
Okay, cool.
I honestly, like, it's one of those things. I'd recommend it to anyone if you haven't had the chance to just play the original Stalker as well, because when I got to play here, you just think and approach gunfights so differently, because there is that like risk element, and some of the enemies, like I was jumping out of my skin because there was like a camouflaged opponent that I came across in the demo here at GameSpot.
Like, fuck, it looks good. It looks like it's running well,
can you tell
too.
us a little bit more about the enemies that we're going to face?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the zone is inhabited by different factions.
Okay.
There are factions that came from the first Stalker trilogy, and there are new factions,
Yeah.
and they have a story behind them of how they appear, what is their goals, and for
Yeah,
the
I like what
player,
I'm seeing.
it would be interesting to uncover and discover these stories, and it's important to mention that from one walkthrough the player won't know the whole story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had to have several walkthroughs to get all these pieces together, or you could discuss it with your friend who choose some other path, and you can share the information about what you see to each other, and
Yeah.
you uncover, oh, I didn't expect that it would happen like this.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, the lighting is so
for me,
clean
I
from
find
that
it
moonlight. Holy
should
fuck.
be interesting for people to discuss
I love that.
their experience with each other.
Yeah, we also saw just beforehand, right, we can actually see the scanner going on right now. Can
Yeah.
you talk us through this?
It's echo scanner. It's a simple scanner. You just beep, and the faster it beeps, the nearest
Yeah.
is an artifact.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can collect an artifact just by using scanner.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Oh my God.
at this point, player faced that Bloodsucker. It's a canonical enemy in Stalker series.
Yeah.
He have an ability to become invisible for player, and we found that from the feedback of the players and from what we see that he's doing quite challenging thing for the players.
Okay.
And but also it's very rewarding because when you start playing the game and you start facing some challenge for the first time, you may die, second time you may die, but after and after it becomes easier for you, and at some point you become master of the game and
Yep.
everything is easy for you.
It's like the Elden Ring of FPS, guys. You know, that's all he's trying to say.
But it takes time to learn the game.
This terrified me. Like, honestly, I was there going like, wait, at first I was like, what's attacking me? And I was like, how do I counter this? And I was like, suddenly realized there was a camouflaged opponent attacking me. It's like,
That's
I
crazy.
love that in this game though, is there are so many challenging enemy, like components. Whether you're fighting bandits, whether you're like fighting these sort of enemies. And then I was like looting everything. I became like a loot goblin where I was going
I
into
wish
every
you could play this in
building
co-op,
and just
man.
trying to find as many med kits so that I could stay alive.
And there is also a lot of pieces of content just near the locations. This is not a main quest. It's often not a side quest. It's just some encounters or narrative little stories to bring you an experience of discovering this real location, real zone.
So it looks like this might be being played at least on a controller. I will say this is such an outdated UI. If I had to critique anything here, the UI is definitely like, it is pretty fucking old school. Even like the radial wheel, the radial menu, it takes up your entire screen. It looks like it's bulky.
It's often not a side quest.
That's probably one
It's
thing I'm
just
not a
some
big fan of.
encounters or narrative
But
little stories.
It's
to
got an old
bring,
school feel, which I guess is what they're
you
trying to
an
go for.
Experience of discovering this real location, real zone, and it's not a fake world. It's full of small pieces.
Yeah.
For me, I find it very interesting to discover. Even if I know the game pretty much, it's still the world map is so huge. So even for me, going back to some locations make me feel, oh, I didn't expect to find it
November
here.
20th.
Oh, they bring something here also.
I'm very excited
So
to
for
try
me, it's
this out.
also, like, I feel the same wow effect when I discover something for me.
You really get rewarded for spending that time to look around the world and kind of try and find those caches, and it's going to pay dividends.
Yeah, it's one of the main goal in making this game is to bring as much freedom and allow player to be as he wants to be or she wants to be, to play the role they feel that works for them.
Yeah,
And
okay.
The player could like start being very rude and cruel, and they can act totally different in this game as like a player who wants to be on a friendly side. So there are a lot of freedom. It's rewarding. So even
I'm curious to see how that's going to affect the storyline. You know, like if you just end up like, I don't know what the quests are, but if you just end up like killing somebody who you could choose to either like kill or save, is that going to affect future storylines? Like, I'm curious how deep this is going to go.
even being cruel is rewarding, but there is a balance. Like the game will also punish you for something.
No, 100%. And I think one of the main things is for everyone who's been watching and wants to get their hands on the game, when are they going to be able to play?
It's November, so it's not so much time left. And for us, we are like every day counts. We are doing everything possible to bring this as polished gameplay as possible, and I hope you enjoy it.
Well, honestly, from what I played at Gamescom, I can't wait to play it more.
It looks good, honestly. Like I can't even front. I'm very psyched to see. Jesus Christ, what is this suggestion? We got Gamescom to Deborah Ann Wall, the fucking guy who lies about cancer. Jesus Christ.